Good morning, comrades. It is Friday, and it's a little bit late, so my fault on that. I slept in. That's like the only thing. Well, hello. Is this thing on? Hello. Good morning, comrades. It is Friday, and it is late. I know. Yeah, I slept in today. It was that kind of morning, I guess. But here I am, as usual. For your daily dose of good morning, comrade. See, folks aren't here yet. Understandable. But here we are. We are rolling. We are finally on our stuff. Again, sorry about being late. So what's going on, folks? How are we doing today? Let's see. Yeah. Well, I had a good story I wanted to say. I guess I'll save that for tomorrow. But in the meantime, I have another terrible story to start us off with today. Excuse me. This weather has been getting me. It's been like stormy here every day for like the whole week, and I'm just wrecked. Just wrecked. Oh, great! There's another mass shooting in Indianapolis last night. Let's not talk about that. Police shot 13-year-old Adam Toledo in Raul Castro steps down as head of the Communist Party. What's going on here? I mean, like, yeah. So I don't want to talk about the mass shooting.
Well, tonight there is shock and sadness in Chicago after the city today released body cam video of an officer shooting and killing a 13-year-old boy. We want to warn you that this video is disturbing. The mayor and the boy's family are asking the community to express their grief peacefully. Here's CBS's Adriana Diaz.
The chase lasted 20 seconds before an officer opened fire.
Show me your head. Stop it. Stop it.
A single shot struck the chest of 13-year-old Adam Toledo. Police say he had a gun in his right hand.
I'm going to start CPR. I'm not feeling heartbeat.
Officer Eric Stillman, who's now on administrative duty, tried to revive him.
Hey, stay with me, buddy.
But the boy was pronounced dead at the scene. Police say a semi-automatic pistol was recovered a few feet away. The incident began around 2:30 a.m. on March 29th, when gunshots were picked up by a police audio scanner. Less than a minute later, police encountered Toledo and 21-year-old Ruben Roman, who was tackled. Today, Mayor Lori Lightfoot, who was a 13-year-old of her own, called for calm.
No parent should ever have a video.
Lori Lightfoot is terrible.
Broadcast.
And she is
widely.
awful, and she is a liar, and I do not expect her to handle this well.
Of their child's last moments. Much less be placed in a terrible situation of losing their child in the first place.
I just want to know what really happened to my baby.
Days after his death, Toledo's mother demanded answers.
They had a lot of options, but not kill him.
Toledo's family said one of Adam's dreams was to be a police officer. Nora, the city of Chicago is preparing for protests tonight.
All right, Adriana Diaz, thank you. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. We're going to begin.
Done it again. Cops have once again shot a young boy. Apparently, this one had something to do with an automated detection system of. Like that automatically detects like gunshots or something, which is kind of insane. The idea that you can, and I'm not sure on all the facts on this. This was happening like yesterday, midday. And I'm not going to say like deliberately avoided the story, but I kind of did. Like I kind of didn't really want, like, I see these things happening like constantly, and like cops just shooting children, and it's just like it turns your stomach, you know. It's awful. I don't know. Like like, yeah, all cops are bastards and all that stuff. Let's move on. Like, I guess before we do, like, especially this week, this has been happening, seem like a lot. And like, what do you do? You know, what do you do when this keeps going on? I mean, like, and again, it said right then and there, right after they announced, oh yeah, there's a police shooting. You know, police shot a 13-year-old kid who had his hands in the air. And by the way, don't go looting, right? Like, that sends a pretty clear message that, like, again, the expectation is that looting is going to happen, and that's more important than the life of this kid that was 13-year-old that wanted to die, that wanted to be a cop when he grew up. And like, that's another fucked up thing, right? Like like the propaganda that we like drill into children. I know this happens sometimes at schools. Like, I've seen this. They've had like on a day where we have like guests come in and they would read to the kids or whatever, like the Dr. Seuss, Read Across America Day or whatever. They would have like the cops would always, say, "Oh yeah, hell yeah, we'll send in an officer friendly to be like nice to the kids, to do some like cop PR and bring kids in, like put the like friendly face forward. You never see this side, and it's very difficult to talk about that, like in schools and stuff like that too, because as kids. Ugh. What a way to start the morning. All right. So let's read about Raul Castro. This is like a huge changing of the era sort of a situation. It's actually kind of shocking to me. And I just saw this, like, I'm reacting to this live. So Cuba's Raul Castro, and I'm also very conscious that like NBC News is the one reporting on this. So and there's a huge huge US based propaganda on here. So I'm taking this with a fairly considerable grain of salt. My sort of take on the Cuba is essentially, I don't agree with every single policy that Cuba does and has done in their long history since the Cuban Revolution, but as well as that, they have stood as a pretty strong alternative to like U.S. hegemony in the West, whilst being completely isolated. And now they have significantly better social services than we have. And from what I understand, the best they're able to like run like old cars, like the best mechanics in the world, essentially live in Cuba. During COVID, they sent out doctors like across the world to help folks as well. So yeah, you might have some disagreements with the way that they do business. They, specifically with some individuals there, but in the terms of the project, there's a lot of really good stuff there. And again, in spite of, or in the face of like direct, like threat, like literal invasion in the case of like the Bay of Pigs and many assassination attempts. So essentially Cuba's been under siege in a lot of ways, from the US and from more broadly from the West. So Just throwing that out there as well. But yeah, Cuba, Raul Castro is stepping down as head of the Communist Party. Castro and his late brother Fidel Castro have been in power since the 1959 revolution. Analysts believe he will remain the most influential figure as a younger generation consolidates power. That's an interesting framing. I mean, like the consolidates power part. While Castro stepping down as head of the Communist Party in Cuba, the most powerful position on the island, with few expectations of significant change amongst Cubans. It is, however, a historic move. Castro and his late brother Fidel Castro have been in power since the 1959 revolution. The Communist Party's 8th Congress will begin Friday, when it will certify Miguel Diaz-Canel as the next party secretary. I don't know this guy. And set policy guidelines. Raul Castro said in 2018 he expected Diaz-Canel to replace him after retirement in 2021. Diaz-Canel represents a new generation and is serving in the first of 2 5-year terms as president. Many analysts believe Castro, who turns 90 in June, will continue to be an influential figure in the island until his death. In Cuba, major events are put together during historic celebrations, and this year's Congress is no exception. It coincides with the 60th anniversary of the failed CIA-backed Bay of Pigs. Yeah, oh my God, Bay of Pigs. Like that was, again, a literal invasion attempt by the U.S. That happened. I mean, we could just do a whole, history lesson on the Bay of Pigs and how like fucked up that was from a lot of sides. But yeah. I've been taking it hard from the pandemic. They're trying to make what I see here is that they're trying to make this seem like, oh, this is awful, like Venezuela or something like that, which is, again, not even necessarily the case. I'm going to stop reading this just because I would just like a little bit more clear, non-propagandistic history on this to come out. But things are going in Cuba, and I don't know how. Yeah, I did wake up late this morning, G Wolf. What about it? You calling me out? Yeah, I slept in, and I kind of have been dreading, I barely covered the Adam Toledo's shooting, just because, like, again, these things just happen all the time, I mean, there was a mass shooting in Indianapolis last night, and I'm just kind of like feeling pretty wrecked by all that stuff, It's horrible. How you doing today? How you slept in too? Cool. Yeah. Let's just take it easy on Friday, right? Get some more light on here so I don't look like a gargoyle. Ugh. That's wild, though. I'm kind of like floored by the Castro news. That's massive. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, it's gonna be a little bit shorter show today, just because of the sleeping in. Yeah, it's been storming here. I don't know if it's been the video is wild. Only took half a second for him to shoot. Yeah, I saw we watched the ABC News version of it. Like the cop was running, sees the kid, and bam, and they froze frame it, and you can see like the kid just literally just standing there, hands in the air, like, oh no, and shot. Like cops are out of control. Like cops are absolutely out of control, and like I don't know what to do. I mean, like, again, the first thing that people like Lori Lightfoot and Joe Biden say in these situations is what? oh, don't, please make sure that if you're going to protest, you protest peacefully. And it's like, why are you assuming that that won't happen? One. And if people do end up getting, like, showing their grief in, very, very strong ways, and potentially even inappropriate ways, I'm not here to judge people. Cop murdered somebody. Maybe keep the focus on that. Stop trying to misdirect. Cop murdered somebody. A kid, 13 years old, with his hands in the air, like, instantly. Just runs right up to him, shoots him like it's a freaking video game. Bo said the strobe problem had a lot to do with it. You talking about Bo, the fifth column? He has a video on this already. Let's check that out. I don't know anything about strobes. And I like Bo. I think Bo's pretty good.
So we're going to talk about what happened in Chicago. I'm not going to go over the whole thing. Everybody is talking about this, and I have a feeling it's going to be a topic for a while. But there's something that I don't believe is going to be discussed a lot, and it's the use of that strobe. That strobe, that light, that flashing light. It is all the rage right now, and it's a good tool. It is a great tool. If one of those is being shined at you, it's very hard to tell how many people you're up against. It's very disorienting in low light.
What is this? What is the strobe? What is it? What does that mean? I don't know exactly what he means by that. Like just a blinking strobe light. I don't understand. I don't want to watch the video again, but like, that's what they use. Like, I guess because it disorients. Let's see what he says.
Light situations, it is hard for your vision to adjust. It's a great tool. However, you don't use it the same way you would use a constant light. You have to shine it in a different place. Normally, under normal circumstances, with a constant beam of light, you shine it center mass. With this, you shine it in the eyes. The other thing, and the more important thing in this situation, is that while it is incredibly disorienting to the person it is being shined at, it is also it also limits the ability of the person using it. That is why most trainers will say if you're going to use one, you need a second officer shining constant light on the suspect. That way you don't believe that movements that are actually occurring relatively slowly are occurring quickly, because you're not, your brain isn't filling in the gaps where the light is off. I'm very curious about whether or not this officer had ever been trained in the use of this thing, or if he just bought a new gadget and put it on his weapon and went out there on the street. I have a feeling that that strobe has more to do with what happened than people are going to acknowledge. If you're using one of these things, if you have one, understand you don't use.
I do find it a little bit strange to make the focus about this, about the strobe. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe it did have something to do with that. Maybe it didn't. I don't know. It sounds like he's mad at the strobe, but not the cop.
Use it like a normal light. If you do, what you saw in that video is what is going to happen. When it flips off and comes back on, every time it flips off, your brain fills in the gaps. This information I'm saying about having a second person shining the light, it's one of those things, yeah, it's in a lot of the manuals as far as the tactical manuals on how to use this. I looked, it's also in police magazines that are online. I do not know if this officer was trained in how to use that, but it doesn't appear that they were.
It kind of doesn't matter.
Understand that all of these little gadgets that are now finding their way into local police departments, they were developed for specific purposes. Using them outside of those purposes because it's cool doesn't lend to getting the best results. Years old, and certainly from what we can see on that video.
Taking this particular angle, I just think that not enough information has come out to make these kinds of claims, but maybe I'm wrong.
Video appeared to have his hands up.
He definitely had his hands up. He's giving a lot.
If I am the civilian oversight there in Chicago, I want to know how many officers have those strobes on their weapons and how many were trained to use them. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.
Yeah, just a thought. That's fine. But that's it. I mean, it is an interesting angle. But there's so much more to it. I think just the idea that this cop felt like he had to go running in, guns a-blazing, is the first thing. And I think that's probably a part of the formula, but it's not I don't know. Maybe, I mean, he obviously knows more about this stuff than I do. So yeah. God, FedEx facilities shot up. Ugh. Why does NPR have an article that says transgender sports bills largely opposed by Republicans and Democrats? What? No, Republicans are pushing this shit, you dummies. Oh, God. Oh, man. NPR. Good God. Oh, my God. Ugh. Jeff Bezos shares his feelings about Amazon's workers' union vote. Oh, God. Let's find a letter to the shareholders, Amazon.
As soon as Amazon found out about the union.
Especially the outcome of the unionization vote in Bessemer, Alabama, where it resulted in Amazon workers voting overwhelmingly not to form the company's first ever U.S. Quote, does your chair take comfort in the outcome of the recent vote in Bessemer? No, he doesn't, Bezos wrote. I think we need to do a better job for our employees. While the voting results were lopsided and our direct relationship with employees is strong, it's clear to me that we need a better vision for how we create value for our employees. Create value? What does that mean? A vision for their success. So he's basically using capitalist language to say oh wow, it's a savvy move, but it's obviously boss talk. Oh, we need to make sure that we're doing the best by our employees, and so that they can succeed as individuals in the marketplace of blah, 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 blah. Yeah. All right. Fuck Jeff Bezos. Bezos closed his note with a reference to his original 1997 shareholder letter, which would come a yearly touched over the company. Quote to you all, be kind, be original. Okay. Blah, God. Ugh. Why did I read that? Why did I read any of this? That's just Jeff Bezos agenda. Oh my gosh. Oh, they won't. Okay, Simon & Schuster won't. That's quite disgusted today. Quite disgusted, folks. Quite disgusted. Actually, yeah. Considering that today was such a wash of a day, I slept in, the news is so terrible. Let's just make this a super short one. We will be back. I will definitely do a show tomorrow. I definitely owe you guys one because this week was kind of a disaster. But yeah, I will be on tomorrow morning. Hopefully we can get well, actually, I got a really funny story. Well, it's not a funny story. It's like a wild story. I wanted to talk about it today, but like I can't really do it justice with the time that we have. But I'll give a little sneak preview. Yeah, this isn't a funny story. I shouldn't have said it like that. But where is it? I didn't put it in Discord, so that's good to know. It's good to know I didn't put it in Discord. Where is it? Where is it? Where the hell is it? Ah, here we go. Popular, beloved high school coach, basketball coach, killed trying to rob Mexican drug cartel, sheriff says. Whoa, what is going on here? We'll read that one tomorrow. Insanity. Like, it's a wild story. Like, why is this coach trying to rob a Mexican drug cartel? We'll find out tomorrow. All right, folks. Buttigieg talk? What? What is Buttigieg talk? Oh, from Bezos. Yeah. That is sort of like, yeah, Pete Buttigieg fucking bullshit. Yeah, we're gonna read that one tomorrow. And hopefully we can, get a little bit of fun into because it's Saturday. But yeah. All right, folks. All right, G Wolf. We'll see you tomorrow. That's it.